Hello, my name is Antonio Patterson, and I am so happy to be here today. Now, my language is English, but for those of you who are watching this and you're native speakers of German, there is gonna be a German audio section at the end of this video, so do stick around if you're interested in the things that I've mentioned. Now, why am I here today? I'm going to be telling you, for those of you who don't know me, who I am. I'm going to be telling you about my shows, my podcasts, both of them free, freely accessible anywhere you like to listen to podcasts. I'm going to tell you about my short lessons and how you can register your interest, my approach to training, and I'm going to be telling you what the goal of all of this is, what the goal of all of this has always been. Now, first of all, as I said, my name is Antonio Patterson. I've been a trainer of English for over 15 years, and I am also an independent podcaster. Podcasting is something that I've been doing, since 2019. And I have two podcasts. One is called the English Coach Podcast, Living the Language. The second one is called Life is Feeling, Counting the Ways. Now, the English Coach Podcast is done, let's say, in close connection to my training practice, and it is there to offer what I like to call sustainable language acquisition. For those of you, mostly my past learners of English, let's say course participants, who want to hold on to their language skills. It's there to allow people to find something free, and accessible anytime, anywhere with a favorite podcast player to listen to themes that are closely related to their learning experience as an adult, and also looking at normal, everyday, real topics, real conversations with real people. That's the English Coach Podcast. Now, the less conservative little sister show to the English Coach Podcast is Life is Feeling, Counting the Ways. Now, the topics there are just as good, from some perspectives, you might say even better, because, they are a little more intriguing, a little, as I said, less conservative, a little more playful. So for those of you who can handle that, do feel free to also check out Life is Feeling, Counting the Ways. And both of these shows are available at www.lifeisfeeling.com. If you want to get to the English Coach Podcast, of course, just go to www.englishcoachpodcast.com. Now, my favorite fan, Kitty, she is running around now. I don't know if you hear the noise, but she gets crazy when I do filming or when I record podcasts. She just gets very active, so you might see her run across the screen. I do apologize for that. But again, coming back to why I'm here, I also do short lessons, right? Short English lessons that are goal oriented, so to speak. So if you have a specific goal, which is usually in the topic, so you recognize what the goal of the training is, short training episode. If it aligns with something that you want to achieve, and you're interested, then you can always register your interest at any one of my websites. As I mentioned before, lifeisfeeling.com or EnglishCoachPodcast.com. You'll see their checkboxes, and you can decide what it is exactly that you want to talk to me about, right? So now you know how to get there and what it's about. Now, my approach to training is, as I like to say, authentic. Now, this approach has been informed by more than 15 years of experience in training adults. I've trained hundreds of adults. I've also trained some youngsters, let's say between 13 and 19, to achieve, tests to improve their grades and so on. As we say in German, Nachhilfe. I also help some youngsters who have, for one reason or another, not managed to get their high school diplomas. I help them to get their MSR, exam, or their EBBR or BBR exams, right? And mostly I help people, however, who have specific business goals having to do with English, of course, and specific tasks that they have to do at work. So if you have to deliver presentations on a regular basis, or conduct job interviews, or you have to offer customer service, or any kind of interaction in English that you have to do on a regular basis at work, within a work context, maybe describe processes, train people, do remote work, manage remote workers, or just conduct meetings, you can talk to me and I'll be happy to help you with that. I do that still, and all of these things are available via the contact form. Just go there and tell me what it is you're interested in, and I'll be happy to help you with that. Now, my overall goal, I did threaten to tell you what my overall goal is. I like podcasting. I like the idea of independent media, right? Both of my podcasts are done in association with my larger website called iantonio.com or iantonio.media. And to me, that stands for independent podcasting and independent media offering. Now, right now I'm doing this from Berlin in my little studio. I could be doing this anywhere, from anywhere. And, this idea of being able to independently, in an authentic way, as a trainer, come into contact directly with my students is something that has driven or motivated me for a long time. I've been doing this since long before the first wave, right? I haven't started. This is not some kind of corona baby that just came up as a result of the pandemic. I've been doing this for quite a while, and I've said that many times. So it's a motivation that I've had for a long time, because I think that learning is relational, right? We learn language in the first place to talk to people. So I think the learning experience is enriched when you can form a proper, learning experience with your trainer or your coach. And that, from my experience, has been one of the greater motivators and enrichers of the learning experience. And it has also contributed to the success that hundreds of my students have experienced. Now, if you're interested in finding out what exactly this approach means, a lot of people have to talk about authenticity and humanness and so on. If you're interested in finding out exactly what I mean, all you have to do is register your interest. A lot of my offerings are free, so you can check out, the podcasts, Life is Feeling, yes, or English Coach Podcast, and get an idea of my general approach. Or, there are also a few free lessons out there. You can also have an idea of how I do things, right? And see for yourself what I mean by authentic. Now, the goal of this, as I said, generally is to create an authentic learning experience. Now, there are also some of you who have to achieve or pass certain examinations. Right now, I'm helping a lot of people to get their MSA, which is their high school diploma, EBBR or BBR. I've also helped people to get their IELTS exams or their Cambridge certificate, as well as some university certificates. I help people with that as well. Specifically, I also help people who are studying in English, and, they might have presentations to do or papers to write or whatever the case may be. I help them with that. I help people to be successful at work-related tasks like presentations, interviews, negotiations, and such the like. These are the things that I help people to do, and these are the goals, the structured goals that many of the people who work with me have, right? Now, as I said again, and I can't reiterate enough, the authentic, non-pretentious approach is my preferred approach, the human approach. I come to you as one person, talking to you as another person, not somebody coming to you from behind, huge paywalls and being driven, so to speak, strings being pulled by people who you have absolutely no idea of, right? I'm coming to you as one person to another. I go for the direct approach, right? A direct approach means that the person who you see in front of you has direct interest in the success that you will achieve. That is what I do. That's the approach that I take. And that is the advantage that I would love for most of my students, the students that I already have recognized that, this human approach, this direct interest in the success and so on. They've recognized that already. And if you want to find out exactly what I mean by that, feel free to, again, check out the free shows, get an idea of who I am. Or if you're interested in more, do feel free to use the contact forms and, as I like to say, register your interest. You can tell me exactly what it is you want. Now, if all of this was a little bit too fast for you or whatever, German is my second language. Sometimes things are also too fast for me and I have to translate. But if you're interested in hearing all of this summarized and condensed a little bit into German, the language of most of the people that I teach, just hold on a little bit. Right after this, you're going to have all of this again for you in audio. So again, my name is Antonio Patterson, and it was a pleasure being here. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening, and I am looking forward to hearing from you. Das Video, das du gerade gesehen hast, war eine Art Wiedereinführung in mein Podcast Engagement und seine Zusammenhänge. Ich habe ein bisschen darüber gesprochen, wer ich bin, für diejenigen unter euch, die mich noch nicht kennen. Eine Anleitung, wie ihr euer Interesse an den erwähnten Angeboten anmelden könnt, sowie die Ziele und den Ansatz, die meine Arbeit bestimmen. Die Podcasts sind im Wesentlichen kostenlose, unabhängige Kunstprojekte und sie sind meist für mehrsprachige Menschen gedacht. Gelegentlich wird ein sogenanntes Code-Switching stattfinden. Als jemand, der sich der Kunst nähert, bin ich auch mit dem Konzept der perfekten Unvollkommenheit sehr vertraut. Spielerisch formuliert, wenn jemand Perfektion in seinem Leben braucht, kann er oder sie gerne einen Kurs bei mir buchen. Die Shows zusammen mit den spannenden Gästen sollen informieren, bilden und unterhalten, um dich zum Lachen, Weinen, Nachdenken oder um Inspiration anzuregen. Das Verbessern und Erhalten der Sprachfertigkeiten auf eine unterhaltsame und interessante Art und Weise sind wichtige Aspekte der Shows. Wenn du mit bestimmten Zielen lernen willst, für die Arbeit, die Schule oder die Freizeit, dann ist dies eine Einladung an dich, deine Interesse zu bekundigen. Heutzutage arbeite ich hauptsächlich im schulischen Umfeld und gebe persönlichen Unterricht. Aber in Verbindung mit dem English Coach Podcast Living the Language steht dir immer noch eine kleine Reihe von aufgezeichneten Training-Videos zur Verfügung. Beide Podcast-Angebote findest du unter www.iantonio.com zusammen mit anderen Projekten, Kooperationen, Partnerschaften und Referenzen. Oder unter ihren eigenen Domains www.lifeisfeeling.com und www.englishcoachpodcast.com. Über die Kontaktformulare kannst du mir mitteilen, woran du interessiert bist, auf die zahlreichen kostenlosen Episoden zugreifen, exklusive Videos ansehen, die nur dort veröffentlicht werden, Zugang zu aufgezeichneten Training-Videos erhalten, dich auf deine eigene Weise einbringen oder mir einfach ein Feedback zu einem Aspekt einer einzelnen Episode geben, der dich bewegt.